Welcome to Top 10 Archive. From Ludwig van Beethoven to the world's oldest zoo, Austria is filled with rich history, famous landmarks, beautiful terrain, and has deep-rooted cultural traditions. In this special edition from Top 10 Archive, we're teaming up with our friends, TopTenz Top 10 List, to bring you the 10 most fascinating facts about Austria. Number 10. Imperial Treasury. Austria's Imperial Treasury is undoubtedly the best place to visit if you're looking for a taste of the country's wealth. On display is the Austrian Imperial Crown and other effects that symbolize royalty from the Holy Roman Empire. You will also get a chance to see the adorned golden cradle in which Napoleon's son lay after his birth, and even robes worn by members of the Order of the Golden Fleece. Some things housed here aren't even believed to exist by most. Such wonders include religious objects, such as the Holy Lance, thought to have been pierced through Jesus' side, and which some have said was the Holy Grail, but is now known to come from Constantine's court. Jewelry is another exhibit all to itself. The world's largest emerald, along with much of Empress Elizabeth's wardrobe, are also huge attractions native to the country.
Number 9. Hydropower. In 1972, Austria began constructing a nuclear-powered electricity generator in the municipality of Zwendendorf by the River Danube. 6 years later, Parliament unanimously voted to forbid nuclear power from generating electricity. It was a close call, and the vote was split by no more than 1%. What came of this was their increasing use of hydropower as a form of electricity. More than half of the country's energy now comes from the flow of water, which is a very large amount. Together with other forms of renewable energy, such as wind and solar power, the electricity supply from sources other than fossil fuels has reached over 60%.
Number 8. Famous Austrians. Ludwig van Beethoven is one of the most famous German-born Austrian composers. He was born in the later 18th century and became a well-known classical pianist. He is a prominent figure in the transition between classical and Romantic-era music. Beethoven's many compositions include 9 symphonies and 32 piano sonatas. For the last 27 years of his life, which were spent in Vienna, Austria, Beethoven had become almost totally deaf. Despite this, he pushed on and continued to compose. One of his most well-known and loved pieces is Moonlight Sonata. Another famous Austrian is Ferdinand Porsche, who was born on September 3, 1875 in Austria-Hungary. He is best known for creating the first gasoline-electric hybrids, the Lohner Porsche. In addition to founding the great line of Porsche automobiles, which are still a prized possession today, he designed the 1923 Benz Tropfenwagen, which was the first racing car with a mid-engine, rear-wheel drive design. In 1996, he was rightly inducted into the International Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Number 7. Austrian Cuisine. Austrian cuisine is composed of influences from throughout the former Austro-Hungarian Empire. One source says that regional influences have affected their cooking styles. This comes from Italy, Hungary, Bohemia, the Balkans, and Germany. Apfelstrudel is a traditional Viennese pastry that once belonged solely to the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but can now be found in many European countries. The oldest known recipe for this snack dates back to 1696. Apfelstrudel consists of a curved pastry jacket with apple fillings inside. These fillings are made of grated cooking apples, which are well complemented with breadcrumbs, brown sugar, cinnamon, and even, nowadays, maple syrup, but this is a much less common variant. If you're not much of the dessert person, Wiener Schnitzel may be just your thing. It is a very thin, deep-fried piece of veal and breaded. Wiener Schnitzel is so well loved among Austrians that it was dubbed their national dish. Those who have not seen it before will oftentimes get it confused with fried chicken because of the color and texture. Traditionally, the piece of meat would be beat with a kitchen utensil closely resembling a hammer, making it one of those fun meals to prepare.
Number 6. Nobel Peace Prize. As of early 2015, 21 Austrians have been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. They have 3 Peace Prize winners and 7 in physiology and medicine. It goes without doubt that Austria is proud to say that they have one of the highest number of Nobel Prize laureates, just behind Switzerland, Luxembourg, and a few Scandinavian countries. The Austrian author and well-known radical pacifist Bertha von Suttner was the first woman ever to receive a Nobel Peace Prize, awarded in 1905. She was also the second female Nobel laureate, coming after Marie Curie, who was awarded in 1903.
Number 5. World's oldest zoo. The Tiergarten Schönbrunn Zoo, or Vienna Zoo, located in Vienna, Austria, is indeed the world's oldest zoo and a UNESCO World Heritage Site which opened in 1752. On exhibit is a look-alike collection of Emperor Francis Stephen's menagerie of wild animals. More than 700 species call Schönbrunn their home. Some are even in danger of going extinct. The zoo is proud to say that they have animals from anteaters to zebras, and many animals in between, such as jaguars, penguins, and giant pandas. It has a collection of animals from nearly every corner of the earth, including Siberian tigers from China and Russia, and even displays from the tropical rainforest. Schönbrunn Zoo is a prime location for education and research, along with species conservation projects which are conducted here. If you're ever lucky enough to visit Austria, this is certainly one place you can't miss out on.
Number 4. Austrian Inventions. Josef Mattersberger was a tailor and one of the inventors of the sewing machine. He was born in Kufstein, Austria in 1768, but later moved to Vienna. In 1807, he began working on his version of the modern-day sewing and embroidery machine. In the process, Mattersberger exhausted all his savings and spare time. When completed in 1814, he presented the creation, which acted as a human hand. It didn't pan out as planned, and he was left with several stitches to sew. After several unsuccessful attempts to improve upon it, Mattersberger built a machine using the chain stitch method in 1839. This invention imitated the weaving process and is often associated with rug making. Although it turned out much better than the sewing machine, he still did not have enough money to open up a factory. But Josef Mattersberger got his fame in 1841 after donating the prototype of the chain stitch to the KK Polytechnical University and was awarded the Bronze Medal for the Lower Austria's Business Society.
Number 3. Competitions and festivities. Schacker Torte is another type of chocolate cake invented by Austrian Franz Schacker. It was made especially for Prince Wenzel von Metternich in 1832. This dessert is among one of the most famous of all Viennese specialties and even has its own day. December the 5th is National Schacker Torte Day. A traditional Schacker Torte is filled with apricot jam and eaten with whipped cream on top. Austria is a country that takes food seriously, especially homemade meals, one of those dishes being their cakes. Larger towns in Austria have bake-offs and compete with other towns in the area to see who makes the best cake that year. Along with a good meal, they love to party the right way and celebrate. Each year, over 200 festivals are held in the small country. Germany and Austria have a lot in common. One such example of this is the two countries' traditions to have Christmas markets in major towns, such as the Christkindlmarkt in Vienna.
Number 2. Sports. Due to the country's beautiful mountainous terrain, alpine skiing is a very popular sport in the region. Snowboarding and ski jumping are also common because of the Alps, which are adjacent to Switzerland. Franz Klammer is a former champion alpine ski racer who won a gold medal for Austria in the 1976 Winter Olympics. Of course, not everyone is into the cold weather, and for that reason, the Austrian Football Association was founded, or soccer for those of you living in the United States. Austria has been one of the more successful football-playing nations in Europe. They placed fourth in the 1934 FIFA World Cup and third 20 years later in the 1954 FIFA World Cup. Austria also ranks high on the IIHF, or International Ice Hockey Federation, and is the home for Formula One three-time F1 world champion Niki Lauda.
Number 1. Vienna's Central Cemetry. Zentralfriedhof, German for Central Cemetery, is located in Vienna, Austria, and is one of the largest cemeteries in the world by number interred, and is arguably the most famous cemetery out of the 50 or so found in Vienna. Vienna's population was at an all-time high during the 19th century, and the decision to create a new burial ground to fit the masses was fulfilled on All Saints' Day in 1874. Many citizens were unhappy with its consecration because this was one of the first cemeteries where all different faith groups' members were laid to rest. The following morning, its official opening, 15 of the deceased were buried, and this number grew to at least 25 every single day. Famous Austrians such as Ludwig van Beethoven and the composer Franz Schubert have graves among a reported 330,000 other tombs where over 3 million people have been buried.
Like these top 10 videos? Subscribe by clicking the annotation here and give our video a like. Have an idea for a future top 10? Leave a comment in the section below and remember to share our videos on your favorite social media sites. Can't get enough of these top 10 lists? Be sure to check out TopTenz Top 10 list by clicking this annotation and head over to their channel for more.